One thing we know about millennials is that the number one motivation is millennials are mission driven. And so when you talk about what millennials want in a job, it's not pay, it's not work life balance, it's they want a job where they're changing the world. And everyone has grown up with this feeling that they have the ability to create great change. And so a little pro tip is that in the private sector, your number one mission is to make money. And in the nonprofit sector, nonprofits are a little bit more, they're more mission driven, but you're also beholden to your funders. And so nonprofits obviously are funded through grant money or through, they have a board of advisors and they have a board of directors, and they are beholden to the stakeholders that fund them. So there's only one entity in the United States whose sole mission is to provide and protect for the little guy, and that's the federal government. All throughout college, I knew I was going to work in a campaign, and it was 100%. And everyone told me, same as you guys. Everyone said, if you have any interest in politics, even if it's not working campaigns, you've got to work in a campaign. It's something that there's skills you're going to get there. And so when I was a senior in college and I was graduating, I told my political science advisor at the time, I was like, I'm going to move to DC. I had no job, I had no house, I had nothing when I moved to DC. And I said, I'm going to try to figure out down there, but my dream is maybe to get an internship or something. And I graduated in 2011, so the 2012 cycle was coming, which just meant there were going to be campaigns abound. If you want to work in a campaign, you have to be absolutely ready to move yesterday. And campaigns are, and it's really interesting because the campaign trail it's such a selfless job, because everything you're doing is not about you at all. So you're never going to get recognized, you're never going to get rewarded, you're probably not going to get promoted, you're not going to get, it's all about the candidate. And so my advice on that one is, and this is me personally, sort of like a know thyself, I could never work for a candidate that I didn't believe in 200%. Up every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I worked 17-hour days with little reward or notification, because I knew I was promoting and defending things that meant a lot to me. So that was sort of the first skill, is that tremendous self-awareness. And it's a lonely job. I mean, you can't talk to anybody. So like House of Cards, it's actually a little bit real. So ever seen like the movie The Ides of March with like George Clooney and Ryan Gosling? The Ides of March came out that March, and I got hired in February, and it was 110% real. Like, and you think it's like, oh, this only happens in movies. Nope, it happens on the campaign trail. I was not allowed to talk to people. Like when we went out like to go socialize, we couldn't go out to bars. We couldn't go out. We couldn't talk to other people who were outside the campaign. If any social life we had to go to a house that was at an undisclosed location with only campaign staff, and we had to stay within the four walls of the house. I lived in like 6 different people's houses. I didn't have my own place, so I didn't supporter housing. So I was like staying at a stranger's house, and my mom would call me like, "Where are you living?" I was like, I don't know. Like when I moved to Florida, I had no idea where I was living. I got my Subaru Outback and drove to Florida, and my mom was like, "So where are you living?" I was like, "Ooh, they're gonna tell me when I get there." And you just have to be totally flexible and just ready to go with the flow. So it's not for everybody. I mean, it's not for a lot of people, the campaign trail, but it is so awesome. I also, not to rub salt in anyone's wound if you're not, but I could not imagine not winning. Like I could not imagine losing. After all the work that I put in personally, it was really nice being able to go to inauguration and putting a tux on and being like, whew. I got to meet I got to meet the president, the vice president, first lady, second lady. I got to meet all these cool principals, and that was sort of my own personal satisfaction. I got to go meet them in the Oval Office. I got to pet Bo and Sunny, which was really the highlight of everything. Having worked 17-hour days, throwing 110% at something, and knowing like there is not a project you can't throw at me that I've worked longer hours harder for. So I think it sort of distinguished me, and that's what my employer now know. Like we're a nonprofit. And I wasn't talking about the president's platform when I was applying for this job. I was talking about how I knew how to collaborate. I knew how to think creatively to solve a problem. I knew how to work in tight deadlines, pressure, quick turnaround, strong communication skills, passionate, mission-driven, and those are the skills that resonate anywhere. And a lot of positions are, and especially in DC, are going to say campaign experience required or preferred.